Here is veteran Justin Turner, 34-year-old perennial MVP candidate for the LA Dodgers. Injury-riddled year last season, Rich. He hit .312 with 14 homers, 52 runs batted in, and lucky for us, he has brought that beard and mustache with him as well. It looks like it possibly is trimmed a little bit.
Well, Turner, Curt hit a home run in the opener against the White Sox last year in this very date, in the first inning, solo shot off Dylan Covey. So they got off the Dodgers off to a good start. They won that game last year. I mentioned 13-5 in the opener.
Turner didn't join the Dodgers until mid-May last year. Remember, he had a quad problem. They really missed him at third base. That opened up the door for other guys. Kike Hernandez plays over there, and well, Max Muncy would come up a little bit later on, but with one guy out, that gives another guy a chance to make a roster and earn his way into the big leagues. Donnie Roach comes home. That pitch is inside. Infield this time plays fairly straight up the middle. Second baseman Sanchez, this time on the right side of second. Looks like his feet are on the outfield grass. Outfield to the right. The center fielder is John Jay. There's Turner, that odd batting stance. Look at that toe, Rich. The toe is on the ground. The heel is off the ground. A swing and a line drive base hit to left center field. It'll run. Jay will chase at the base of the wall. Jay looking for his cutoff man. Finds him, but Turner does what Turner does. Base hit his first at bat of spring training. It's a double.
You played with, to me, my roots growing up in New York. You were teammates for a long time. You know Reggie Jackson probably as well as anybody. Yeah. He's iconic. The name represents baseball. What can you tell me about Reggie that I don't know?
Oh, golly. Reggie, he was a great guy. I got along with him real well. He stayed with me here in Birmingham for about a month. He couldn't find a place to live, so I had an extra room at my apartment.
Reggie will also be part of your lore because of this.
Yeah, Reggie started the mustache. He came to spring training in '72 with a mustache and wouldn't shave it off. And so myself and Catfish Hunter, Darryl Knowles, there was about three of us decided to grow mustaches. And we figured if we grow them, Dick Williams was our manager, he would say, okay, guys, cut it off. And Reggie would have to cut his off. But Charlie Finley, our crazy owner, he thought mustaches was a great idea. And so he told everybody on the ball club, if you make the team opening day, you got a mustache, you get $300, and that's the only reason why I grew this.
$300.
$300.
Stayed.
Yeah, it stayed. Well, it's tough to cut it off after winning the World Series 3 in a row,
right.
So I kept it.
Do you have pictures of you? Does anybody have pictures? Is there anything? Anybody have proof that you actually weren't born and raised with a mustache?
Well, my first 3 or 4 baseball cards in '69, '70, and '71 were no mustache.
I'm not a math major, nor do I pretend to be, as you're taking a look at Rich Hill, but that's only $12.90 a ticket, right?
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty good deal. All right, Rich Hill, what a story. 38 years old, 11-5 last year for the Dodgers. He has been around is a general statement. We'll get to that in a moment. He's left-handed, 6'5", 220. Grew up in Boston, Mass. Of course, people in Chicago familiar with him.
Yep.
Probably associated with the Cubs more than any of his other 13 or so organizations. And John Jay will lead it off. Possible new starting center fielder for the White Sox. Takes low, and the last of the first is underway. With Kansas City and Arizona. Remember, the Diamondbacks were making a push for the playoffs last year. So after starting the year with the Royals, the Diamondbacks made a deal for Jay. Swats one foul left side. Batted .268 between the two clubs with 3 homers. Knocked in 40. And National League fans will remember him. Made his mark, Rich, with the Cardinals. And that's where he grew up in their system.
I mentioned earlier he was a friend of Machado, and he got all kinds of interviews because of Machado in camp. People asking what's going to go on, and of course he had no answers. It's up to Machado, obviously. But another nice guy. I mean, you mentioned Rich Hill. He was at the Cubs in 2005, Curt, and in that year the White Sox, of course, won the World Series. And that year with the Cubs, 2005, he was 0-2, a very fat 9.13, but he's had a long, long career.
18 years for pro ball. This is his 18th for the lefty. That big breaking ball that he throws, a slider and a fastball. Good pitch to take for Jay, as he shows that he has seen quality lefties before. Outfield to the left. Infield straight up. We'll go defensively in a moment. Let's look at one more pitch to veteran John Jay. 4-0 Dodgers lead the White Sox last of the first. There's that big curveball, and he hammers it in for strike 3.
8 tackles per game.
Johnson has 3 wide receivers to his left. He'll go to his right. In traffic, caught. What a great catch.
And how about this one? We're going to go on a go route down the sideline. Johnston lets it fly. It's good coverage by the Monarchs, but Mitchell just goes up, makes the catch, and is able to get his foot down.
Johnston wants to throw. They go over the middle, man, wide open and caught inside the 10. And in motion, Mitchell deep far side. This is going near side. It is caught. What a catch to the 3-yard line. It'll be Austin Watkins on the reception.
Field. Johnston throws the deep ball well, puts this ball in a perfect spot, and look at Parr with the left hand making that catch.
Harrell with the ball, not only a scorer, but a terrific rebounder as well. On his way to Virginia, as Ryan Brown mentioned, he'll start the game with a 2-point jump shot. Start from the outside. That's a 3-point goal for Ralph Floyd. And the kids from Birmingham with a 1-point lead at 3-2 over the kids from the state capital city of Montgomery. Again, a private school. Their nickname, they don't really have one, but they called themselves the Rams, Ryan.
They don't even have anywhere to practice. They have to borrow gyms.
You got one? You got an extra gym in your palatial estate?
I do not know.
Welcome back to our Barron Spotlight. Our guest here is Chipper Jones as we kind of go outside the box. And the reason we got him here, we love to talk about the potential of a Hall of Fame and who the greatest pitcher he ever faced and the greatest hitter. But this is it right here. And it looks like you and everybody thought real hard and long about the name. So let's start with the name ball player. Why not Chipper Jones, My Life in Baseball? It just became very simple, ball player. Why?
I think ultimately the greatest compliment you can have someone talk about you or your career is to say that you were a ball player. There are people who play baseball, and then there are ball players.
With the 21-point loss to the Razorbacks, the Tigers will certainly take a hit in the national rankings. For head coach Gene Chizik, he suffers his first loss at Auburn. But for the Tigers, there is good news. After 2 straight games on the road, the Auburn Tigers return home. They will play Kentucky this upcoming Saturday. From Fayetteville, Arkansas, this is Curt Bloom. Time now for headlines, and we'll start in the NFL where there's 6 first-round draft picks that remained unsigned. One guy is a guy we know very well, and that's former Bama lineman Andre Smith. And no, we're not reporting he's ending his week-long holdout. Word is he might miss the first few games of the season. That's because the Bengals are lowballing him, offering him less money for their pick than the guy taken after him in the NFL draft. Well, the rainy days of summer are plaguing NASCAR. Last weekend, Pocono, now Watkins Glen. The race rained out. They'll play makeup tomorrow. I wonder if they have to play a doubleheader. And talk about momentum for Tiger Woods.
This guy's
baseball
good.
Reference.
Yeah.
Heading into the PGA Championship next weekend today, polishing off career win number 70 at Bridgestone Invitational. He wins by 4 strokes at 12 under.